that came from. Reading, it's hard.
Well, I think when you have a, I'll say in all candor, when you're in a foreign country and a monkey in a diaper sitting on your head, you're asking for trouble.
Discussion can end there. That's right. Boom. It's a definitive statement on the issue. Now we move on.
So how many times have you thought about that was a bad idea that I had a monkey on my head since you had the monkey on your head?
Every time I go visit Dr. Pellegrino, my personal doctor. Do you know what it's like to tell your doctor that?
Well, Doc, I also had a monkey. Excuse me? Had a monkey on my head with a diaper on. I bet you that's the first time Dr. Ron has ever heard that one. He's probably heard a lot of things.
He's heard a lot. Yeah, Dr. Ron has.
He's one of the great West Virginians. He's up there from the Northern Panhandle.
He's awesome.
Tremendous.
Yeah, Dr. Ron. Good dude.
We were talking in my office a little earlier, and a phrase that Ryan used that I was really kind of gobsmacked over. He started a sentence with me. He said, "We were watching football on Thursday."
I know, he did the same thing to me. He did this. Is this like Earth 2?
I said, what?
He came back and started telling me about the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
I know.
You were watching the Lions game on Thanksgiving Day.
Well,
what happened? What happened to our little Ryan?
Well, when my Uncle Bill and my Uncle Chris asked if I want to watch football with them, I don't say no.
Okay.
So
because I'm not a recluse anymore.
So if you have uncles that are big sports fans, do you get some creds? Are you like, hey, I'm actually kind of a sports show, syndicated?
Well, I don't.
Statewide.
Well, I don't want this to be a sports show.
Second game this season that Honors had 8 threes. Second time he's had 8 threes, and his coach has pulled him out with over 4 minutes to go.
You're up 40.
Yeah, but coach just does not want to see him get that record.
There may have been a discussion about that on exactly where he was in the number.
Did you let him know this time?
But there was a discussion about where he was with the number. But at the end of the day, Ross decided the juice not worth the squeeze there. With 3.5 minutes left is when he pulled him out after the timeout there. And that's a guy with a lot of minutes on his in his body. You need to rest him. But 2 out of 11, you got to think maybe he's going to approach that again. Here's what's wild. In those 2 games where he's just been one off of Alex Ruoff's record, he's now a combined 16 of 20 from 3 in those 2 games. So he didn't just make 8 threes, guys. He was 8 of 11 last night. He was 8 of 9 when he did it before. 16 of 20 combined in those 2 games.
Across this great state of West Virginia, welcome in high school game nights. I chuckle a little bit, folks, because it said early edition.
As compared to the
Only
rest
edition.
of the edition, yeah.
Yeah.
Tonight is going to be interesting, to say the least.
10 seconds remaining.
Going to be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable, gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
You had a moment of clarity about when it all started to make sense for you?
It did, because I didn't want to be a filmmaker growing up. I didn't even know what filmmaking was growing up. I used to watch Oprah and Katie Couric, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be you. And I worked at West Virginia University's radio station. I had a very thick accent. People would call in and make fun of me. And so I asked my roommates, my college roommates who were from Baltimore, to teach me how to talk differently.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a loss, I feel, from that. And it's probably one of the reasons why I love documenting people that are authentic. Like, I don't know if I'm authentic, but I think the people I find are very authentically who they are, and that's what draws me to them.
5, 3.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened-to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for Wednesday, game day for the Mountaineers. The Mountaineer men out at Arizona State, Mountaineer women home to Arizona State. We're going to talk about both of those matchups. The schedule is out. We've got the dates, obviously no times. You all know how that works. We'll get the times for the non-conference games sometime in the summer and then week by week. But we do know the dates. So all the wedding planners and everyone who's gotten engaged in the last 6 months, start your engines, right? You can get your fall weddings planned.
Only one open date in this football season.
Yeah, but you can get married when the Mountaineers are playing a road game.
Well, maybe other families. My family, that wasn't happening. So, but yeah, you're right. So we do know those, but we know one thing that's happening is schedule. Mountaineers got basketball games this evening.
That's right. We'll get into the schedule, and we'll invite your texts at 304 Talk 304 later on. Brad's with us. Brad Howe from Arizona. Good evening.
Good evening, boys.
Any news out of the shoot-around today?
No, just relatively quiet. Had a nice little shoot-around. My first time in the arena here in Tempe, and it was fine. It was a good shoot around. Everybody seems good spirits, and ready to lace them up tonight.
And so a little bit later start, at least on the East Coast. So 9 o'clock tip, Peacock Network, by the way. So those that don't have it, just tune over to Brad and Tony on MSN Radio, and you'll get your fill. But Brad, keys for West Virginia tonight. What do they got to do?
Yeah, it's interesting, guys. It's going to be a similar game, I think, in terms of keys to the game as it was against Colorado. This is an Arizona State team that is really athletic and loves to get out in transition. So it's another one of those styles make fights kind of game, and West Virginia is going to want to slow it down and control the pace of this game, and Arizona State's going to want to get out and run. So I think first and foremost, that's the biggest part of the key, is which team can get the other to play like it wants. And I think this is a really interesting Arizona State team from the standpoint of they've lost 6 of their last 7, and they've struggled out of the gate in Big 12 play. But as you start to dive into them, guys, the schedule's been brutal.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most difficult schedule of any Big 12 team. It's just the only one that's ahead of West Virginia's start in this league. They've had to go on the road to BYU, to Houston, and to Arizona. And so now they return home and play West Virginia. So I think this is a team that is better, one of those old cliches, better than its record indicates, and it's got some real talent, including a 7'1", 7'2" guy in the middle that is outstanding. And I know we'll talk about the individuals in a minute, but this is a game you absolutely cannot look past if you're West Virginia. And it's, again, this Big 12 road games are difficult. Teams in this league are winning their home games at a 70% clip. So this is one that, even though the record doesn't show it for the Sun Devils, this is a difficult and dangerous game tonight.
Well, let's get into the personnel. This is a big team. You've got, you mentioned the 7'1", 7'2" freshman, Masamba Jop, and also some younger players, Gravovic, another freshman who's 6'9", 6'10", and Truitt in there as well at 6'11". So you've got 3 guys. How often how do they pair them up? How do they split the minutes up between those big guys?
Yeah, you get Truitt and Jop on the floor a lot together. So it's one of those situations where getting to the basket tonight may be a real challenge. So stop me if you've heard this before, but you got to make shots from the outside. That's the one part of the game plan from Colorado that I'd like to see change tonight. If I could keep everything the same and add in a few more perimeter shots to the game, I think that would help tremendously, because that length inside, especially Jop, just a really talented shot blocker, one of those guys that comes out of nowhere on you. But then if you go to the backcourt, guys, it's not just the size. Mo Odom's one of the most talented scorers in this league, and as you talk about him, it's not just a green light, it's a flashing neon light when he gets it. I mean, he is going to put the ball up. So it's one of those nights Jasper Floyd's going to be asked again to take that assignment as he normally does, the best guard on the other team. Jasper's going to draw, and he's been fantastic in that role. Limited Isaiah Johnson to one of his most difficult outings of the year against Colorado, so you need another one of those tonight against Mo Odom. Then you mix in one of the great names in the Big 12, Anthony Pig Johnson.
Yeah.
And Pig Johnson, man, he can score it. It's an NAIA guy, and it's what do we say all the time, Greg? There's players everywhere. Pig Johnson's an example. He was an NAIA player, but he comes in and can flat out score it a ton too. So you got your hands full. Again, this is a talented team. I think what you're hoping if you're West Virginia is see if they can play discipline. If you can get them to have to play a slow-down situation where you get back in transition and they have to run half court or they have to guard you for 20, 25 seconds, let's see if they can be disciplined enough over 40 minutes to do that and get the win. That's what you're shooting for.
So Arizona State has not been great, at least statistically, in terms of defense. They're one of the lowest teams in terms of the Big 12 in terms of points allowed. So is that something West Virginia can exploit?
Well, I hope so, Greg. But again, you've played Colorado, BYU, Arizona, and Houston. You're talking about four of the top five offenses in this league. Now, they don't necessarily want to sit out there and grind you the whole time. They would much prefer play a little defense, get steals, go the other way, grab a rebound, and outlet it. So you hope so. You hope that running of your offense, your isolation on some of those offensive players for them that want to get down to the other end and shoot, you hope that makes them a little disinterested in defense. But I do think you got to be a little bit careful there just because of the offenses they played that are going to make those numbers look a little bit skewed probably.
This is a completely rebuilt team, Arizona State. They lost all their starters. In fact, we had Chris Cartman on from Sun Devil Source last night, and he said the problem for Arizona State and Hurley and the staff the last few years is they've recruited fine. They just can't keep their good players. So the only guy back from last year's team is Trevor Best, who they expected to contribute, but he's not. He's played 77 minutes. So, again, this is another one of those teams that pretty much top to bottom is completely a brand-new team.
Yep, we've seen that, right? And it's in this league, and you know where West Virginia's coming from, so I never feel sorry for other teams that are having to reload their roster completely because West Virginia's in the same boat for the third consecutive season. But you're right, and a heavy international influence for them this year. They have multiple guys they went out and brought in overseas. And we'll see, guys. We'll see what Bobby Hurley's future looks like. That's a guy that's been here 11 years, probably not the success they all thought when he was arriving. So what's this group look like if you can make the game get down and dirty? And, you know, the crowd will be a question tonight. It's a midweek game out here. And, again, just a beautiful part of the country. And there's just so much going on out here that we'll be interested to see what the crowd looks like tonight. And can this be one where you get on the road? And, again, I gave you that stat about the home teams winning in this league. This is certainly one you hope you can come in here and steal and get out of here with.
Yeah. Have you gotten any kind of feel of what the attendance is going to be like? I mean, certainly down the road at Arizona, that's a very rabid fan base, and because they've been spoiled for many, many years. But Arizona State doesn't feel the same in basketball. Do you have any idea what West Virginia is going to face from the stands?
No, I don't, Greg. I have no feel for that whatsoever. We'll just have to see when they get here. But you're right. Traditionally, in both football and basketball, they haven't necessarily packed out their stadiums. Now, football's been a little different over the last year and a half as they've started to get really good, but basketball's just not in that same spot. So it would surprise me tonight if this is one of those where there's 10,000 or so people in this building. At least certainly that's what we're hoping for on our end, that you go in there and you get a little bit of a sleepy crowd and you can jump on them early and control this. But that would be my expectation, that this won't necessarily be a packed-out stadium tonight.
So, again, Arizona State 10-8 overall and just one win in conference play. But, Brad, one of their best games, maybe their best game over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks, was against number 1 Arizona. Now, that's a rivalry game, but they go on the road and lose by 7. So what did they do well there? What kept them in that game?
Yeah, again, that's where the styles interest me because, first and foremost, you're right, a huge rivalry game right down the road. So, obviously, you're going to get the Sun Devils' best effort in that one. And they, the game ended up 89-82 loss for Arizona State, but that was closer than that. It was, within a point coming down to the last couple of minutes. I think what that was, it was Arizona State was making shots, and they got up against a style that played like they wanted to play. Arizona's not backing down from anybody that wants to run. They're just going to say, well, is that right? You want to run? We'll run with you, and we're better at that than you are, which ultimately came through. But I think that was about a style of play that Arizona State's players were very comfortable in. If you want to turn it into a 94-foot game and go up and down, as talented as Arizona is, Arizona State wants to play that way anyway, so it was in their comfort zone. And that's why I go back tonight, where if you can get them to do something that theoretically makes them uncomfortable, that's your best chance to win. And the thing that makes them uncomfortable is exactly how you want to play. So that's why I think it's always important to look at styles of play when you're going into these matchups. And West Virginia's been able to achieve that in its wins. It did that against Kansas, where it slowed down a team that wanted to run. It did that against Colorado, a team that wants to get out and run. So can you do it again tonight? And that's what it'll take to win this game.
Brett, always interested in how the scouts work, and not necessarily tonight's scout, because I'm sure that's already done, but West Virginia just has a couple-day turnaround. You guys bust down to Tucson and get ready for the number one team in the country. How does West Virginia handle that scout? Is most of that work done by the coaches, and then they present it to the players after tonight's game?
Yes, all done with the in terms of the coaching part of it and how you're going to attack and what you want to do. But they don't deliver that to the players certainly until this game is passed. And then we'll come back to the hotel tonight, stay here this evening, get up tomorrow, and actually spend most of the day here in Tempe. We're going to go through, we'll have film and scouting in the morning, a little recap of tonight's game, and then they'll head over and get a practice in here, and then that's when the preparation begins for Arizona. So you're right. These Big 12 games, man, when you're in it, especially on the Wednesday, Saturday turnaround, those are quick. But, yeah, certainly that stuff's all in the can and ready to go. And it's just a matter of don't put that in their heads until it's time to go, and that'll be tomorrow afternoon when that begins.
Well, bus is leaving. We got to let you go. Are you good as far as you know tomorrow night at this same time for a Arizona State recap?
Yep, should be good to go. Plan on it.
Very good. We'll talk to you then.
Okay, see you guys. Thanks.
Brad Howe there in Arizona getting set to call Arizona State and West Virginia. And Arizona is in action tonight as well at home against Cincinnati. So you've got the two Eastern time zone teams. I haven't looked at this, but I assume Cincinnati's playing at Arizona State on Saturday.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
It would.
Okay. So Cincinnati at Arizona tonight, West Virginia at Arizona State. Both of those games begin at 9 o'clock. National TV for the Cincinnati-Arizona game, Fox Sports 1, and Peacock for, I guess, streaming only for West Virginia and Arizona State.
Yeah, Cincinnati does play at Arizona State Saturday, but it's not until late 10 p.m. Eastern tip.
West Virginia certainly gets the better of that deal because what is that, 2 o'clock Eastern time,
so,
noon local time, so they got to get back, find a way to get back into Morgantown here with all the snow coming on Saturday.
Hopefully they can beat that in,
right?
And then deal with whatever happens on Sunday. Deal with it then.
Mountaineer men at Arizona State tonight. Mountaineer women home to Arizona State tonight. We'll get a preview of that one from Greg Carey when we return. CityNet makes technology simple for your business, from network monitoring to IT management. Their experts keep you connected and protected. Learn more at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
We're expanding our ultra-fast fiber network across West Virginia, bringing reliable, lightning-fast internet to more homes every day. With plans up to 10 gig, you'll enjoy unbeatable speed for streaming, gaming, and working from home. And right now, new customers get 50% off any plan for their first year, now as low as $25 a month. No contracts, free installation, local support you can count on. Check availability today at citynet.net. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
The Mountain State's premier fishing, hunting, and outdoor sports show returns to Milan Park in Morgantown March 7th and 8th. Over 100,000 square feet of campers and RVs, boats and ATVs, hunting and fishing supplies, guns, knives, and more. Limited vendor space is now available. To put your products and services in front of over 10,000 outdoor enthusiasts, visit WVOutdoorSportsShow.com. The 24th Annual West Virginia Fishing, Hunting, and Outdoor Sports Show, presented by Can-Am, March 7th and 8th at Milan Park in Morgantown, a WVRC Media event.
We are there for you to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
It's Toyotathon, and we're determined to make this the best one yet. Starting now, when you purchase any brand new Tundra or Tacoma, you'll drive away with a personalized Dan Cava Yeti cooler. This December, unwrap incredible deals like 2.99% for 72 months on 2026 Tundras. Snow, sleet, or holiday travel, your perfect winter ride is waiting for you. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
CityNet statewide sports line from the Health Plan Studios. Kyle and Greg, we've got another player stepping out of the portal in Morgantown, West Virginia, another commit. We'll get to that. We've got schedule talk as well. That's all coming up. But with us now from Hope Coliseum is Greg Carey, WVMetroNews.com, Mountaineer women, home to Arizona State. Greg, I've been in the studio here for about an hour and 20 minutes. So what's it doing out there? It was had a little bit of a snow squall when I came in. It was snowing pretty hard. What's it doing now?
Yeah, it's spitting the rain pretty good. It's a little bit, less, I guess, than snow, but it seems to maybe be trending in that direction. But it is raining pretty hard. I actually just arrived at the Coliseum here within the last 10 minutes or so. And it's a crowd that probably going to be somewhat sparse here at this point, but West Virginia hoping to get back on track, at least in terms of playing better at home, and what's a very important game against the Sun Devils.
Yeah, at least it's changed from snow to rain, so it's raining now, and most definitely it'll probably affect this crowd tonight.
Yeah, I would think at least somewhat. Certainly, it's an ugly night out, and you don't really know. Not in addition to not having very favorable weather pregame, what's it going to be like postgame? I think that's something else we have to consider, especially considering the distance that some of these people travel for the game. So, interested to see what it looks like a little bit closer to tip-off. But at this point, I think that would be a fair suggestion.
And not only is it interesting in what the crowd's going to be, certainly on the floor it should be interesting as well. West Virginia, we know, 22nd ranked team in the country, and while Arizona State isn't ranked, they got a really nice record under a first-year head coach. So what kind of matchup are we looking at tonight?
They do. You mentioned the Sun Devils are enjoying one of the better seasons they've ever had in the history of their program up to this point. They won each of their first 15 games. They've split their last 4, so they come in here 17-2, and with some very impressive defensive numbers. They're only 14th of 16 Big 12 teams in terms of points per game, so they're offensively challenged. They haven't shot the ball particularly well from the perimeter. They're not even making 5 3-pointers a game on average, so they've got to rely heavily on their defense for their success. They've been able to do that by and large to this point. They're a team that averages nearly 11 steals per game, so a lot of their offense stems from that strong defensive play, and a lot of their ability to hang in games when they haven't been able to maybe score at the rate in which they'd like is due to stopping other teams and preventing teams from doing exactly that.
So we've got a little bit of a mirror image, right? This is an Arizona State team that likes to be disruptive, speed up the tempo, pressure teams, try to get offense from defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they, like you said, rely heavily on their backcourt in terms of being disruptive and getting their hands in the passing lanes, getting some of those deflections and steals that kind of help them thrive. I think West Virginia's probably further along and a little bit more advanced offensively. They have the ability to get some shots and points near the rim at a rate that Arizona State probably doesn't, and that's something that I think the Mountaineers could look to try to exploit in this matchup. But in terms of just the overall game plan of the constant pressure, trying to badger the opponent, wear them down as the game goes on, you are looking kind of at a spinning image of each other in terms of the Mountaineers and Sun Devils, because both teams aspire to do exactly that.
So one of those Sun Devils, there are a lot of new ones on this roster for the first-year coach, and one of those, though, is a Fairmont native in Marley Washington. Now, West Virginia and Marley have faced off before. She was at Pitt for the previous 3 years, but that adds a little intrigue, a player who most West Virginians know pretty well.
Certainly, a bit of a homecoming. If you remember way back in her recruiting process, at one point she was thought to be coming to West Virginia. So, I'm sure she's eager, and it's kind of interesting how it works out. She ends up going entirely across the other way to the West Coast, but still gets an opportunity to have a homecoming here and play about 15 minutes down the road from where she grew up, and obviously had a decorated career at Fairmont Senior, did some pretty good things at Pitt, and seems to really be enjoying her time at Arizona State. She's been a pretty big part of their success. She hit a crazy buzzer beater earlier this year that gained a lot of notoriety, even on a national standpoint there. And, she's one of the keys defensively. She's one of the players that, when you look up and down statistically, averaging 2.2 steals per game. So she is certainly a big piece of, what the Sun Devils try to do defensively in terms of being disrupted and applying that ball pressure that's kind of led to some of their defensive success.
Yeah, you mentioned 41 steals, second on the team to Gabby Elliott, and they've got an interesting point guard in Last-Tier Poa, who played at LSU and I believe played on their national championship team. So just talk a little bit more about their personnel.
Yeah, it's largely, as you mentioned, with the first-year head coach, Molly Miller, who came over from Grand Canyon where she had a lot of success. It's a bunch of transfers, but it's a bunch of Power 5 transfers. And I was looking at Gabby Elliott's bio. She's already played at Penn State, Clemson, and Michigan State. This is her 6th season of college basketball. You mentioned Marley Washington's coming from Pitt. The second leading scorer, Kenneth Brackens, is a UNLV transfer. So it's a lot of high-level-ish players that have come from either power programs or other Division I programs. And it's been a pretty interesting mixture. It seems like perimeter shooting is certainly maybe the weakest part of Arizona State's team, but they pass the ball at a pretty good rate. They've got decent assist numbers for a team that doesn't shoot the ball particularly well. They rebound it for a team that doesn't have great size. And really, they've just kind of had a will to win. They've been outstanding in really some close games, which I think says a lot about the maturity in terms of the personnel and some of the veteran leadership that they have. Although it's an entirely new team, they do have players that have been through the rigors of college basketball for several seasons at a high level.
Should be. I mean, we're in the midst of conference season right now, so I mean, West Virginia each and every night out has some sort of challenge. But this is a stretch where you'd like to think West Virginia can make some hay. Not that it's going to be easy, but they just beat one at Cincinnati. You got Arizona State here, BYU out there next week, as well as Utah. So you have that stretch, but. You have to think, I mean, none of these will be easy, but just from an outsider's perspective, these are all certainly games that West Virginia can win, and if they want to keep their top 25 ranking, probably need to.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's important for them to get back on track at home. They've had so much success in each of the first 2 seasons with Mark Kellogg as head coach in this building, and recently they've kind of dipped. They had a bit of a dud earlier this year against Villanova in this building, and then lost a couple tight ones recently to both Texas Tech and TCU. So I think West Virginia wants to not only, play at a high level regardless of the venue, but certainly protecting its home court at a higher percentage and a better rate than what they've done over the last few weeks is going to be important if they hope to stay among those top few teams in the Big 12 and stay ranked in the top 25.
All right, Greg, we look forward to reading your recap of this one later on. The Mountaineer women at home to Arizona State. Marley Washnet's one of the starters for that ASU team. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the game, and we'll look for your work later tonight.
Anytime, guys. Have a good night.
Greg Carey there, WVMetronews.com. All right, another portal commitment. WVU football schedule is out with dates for including the Big 12 games. We'll get into all of that. 304-TALK 304. That is the text number if you'd like to join us and comment. We also encourage you to stay tuned for High School Sportsline coming up at 7:06 tonight. Among the guests, we'll hear from a couple of outstanding players. Akwesi Apoku Achampong of Spring Mills is scheduled to join us. Spring Mills won the boys state championship last year. Akwesi with a tremendous year as their point guard. He's having another great year this year. Also, Rihanna Breckenridge of George Washington scheduled to join us. That GW girls team is 15-0. So we'll catch up with those outstanding athletes plus much more coming up on the High School Sports Line. We'll return to the CityNet Sports Line in a moment. Since 1979, the health plan is called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The health plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps. And never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
Diabetes is the most common endocrine disease in the U.S., and WVU Medicine endocrinologists offer comprehensive care for this chronic disease. We also treat parathyroid, pituitary, thyroid, reproductive, and adrenal gland conditions. Trust WVU Medicine's fellowship-trained and board-certified endocrinologists to provide world-class care for all endocrine disorders. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/endocrinology.
I'm President Mike Davis of Fairmont State University. On January 23rd, our students, faculty, and staff will talk with lawmakers at the annual Fairmont State University Day at the Capitol. We'll share with them our substantial contribution to the region's economic development. Did you know that for every dollar Fairmont State receives in state appropriations, we generate over $8 in economic impact? Last year alone, we generated $170 million in total economic impact for West Virginia. Fairmont State University never rests when it comes to making West Virginia a great place to call home.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sports Line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I have had a complicated relationship with food. My job was to talk to heart failure patients about diet and exercise. I felt like, why would you listen to me? Because I was not following a diet that was healthy for me. I needed help. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 175 pounds. I feel like I'm free. They hold the skill, they hold the tools, and they're waiting for you to come say that you need the help.
Weather's getting cooler, but our deals are only getting hotter. 2026 Tundras now up to $5,000 off and 2.99% for 72 months. Fall looks better in a new Toyota from Dan Calva Toyota World. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Stike Wealth Enhancement Group is now Wealth Enhancement. We believe retirement starts with a plan. Saving for college starts with a plan. Your legacy starts with a plan. Do you have the right plan? Call our team at 304-443-4240 or email stike-info@wealthenhancement.com.
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline for Wednesday night. Thanks for joining us. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to get a few minutes with Mountaineer baseball coach Steve Sabins. That'll be towards the end of the program. They've got their fundraiser, their leadoff banquet coming up Saturday, scheduled for Saturday. And also scheduled for Saturday, the Beauty and the Beast event at Hope Coliseum. WVU wrestling, WVU gymnastics going on simultaneously. And gymnastics coach Jason Butt scheduled to join us Friday. That's all to come this week on the Sportsline. All right, Greg, we've got another addition to the Mountaineer football team, Cameron Reddick from Stephen F. Austin University. Houston, Texas native. He's played 2 seasons at Stephen F. Austin, including at least one as a starter last year as a sophomore.
Yeah, was a starter this past year as a safety, 6 foot 185, and Stephen F. Austin, an FCS program, but a very, very good one. We're a top 20 ranked FCS program throughout much of the year, earned a spot in that division's playoff as well. So what did he have? 43 tackles, I think, by 42 tackles by my count, a interception. But was mainly, just trying to figure out some things on the fly here. Looked more like a box safety guy. So, matter of fact, at one point, they're listing him as a linebacker. So I think, that's their spear position. Like I said, more of a box safety. So adds further depth and another experienced player for West Virginia on the defensive side via the transfer realm. So, even though we're moving on, haven't completely finished the transfer portal additions for West Virginia.
All right, so the latest coming in just about a half an hour ago, Cameron with a K, K-A-M-E-R-O-N, Cameron Reddick, R-E-D-D-I-C. Again, a Houston, Texas native starting in the defensive backfield for Stephen F. Austin. So another player to bolster the depth there in the defensive backfield. 304 Talk 304, of course, the schedule released today, at least the dates. And get your thoughts here, Greg. Of course, we knew Coastal Carolina, UT Martin at home the first 2 Saturdays in September. The game against Virginia, the neutral site game on September 19th. The Mountaineers open Big 12 play Saturday, September 26th. And that is against Oklahoma State. That's followed October 3rd, a game at Iowa State. Back-to-back home games, October 10th against Arizona, October 17th against Cincinnati, Saturday, October 24th at TCU. So all of those games consecutively before a bye week. The only open date is Halloween, Saturday, October 31st. And then the November portion of the schedule, November 7th at Texas Tech, November 14th home to Kansas, November 21st home to Houston, November 28th at Utah. So a couple of things there. First of all, every game this year so far, unless they change it, is Saturday.
Yeah,
no
there's
Friday
still
games.
opportunities for TV to step in and pick something up.
The start of this league schedule, to me, looks very favorable. It looks like you've got a great opportunity to get off to a very good start. Of course, this is the year that you've got the extra home game. You've got the extra home game in conference play, total of 7 home games, 5 in the league, but you open up against an Oklahoma State team that last year was in absolute disarray. They've got a new coach in Eric Morris. Oklahoma State finished last. Then the first road game is against an Iowa State team that doesn't have Matt Campbell anymore. Jimmy Rogers is the new head coach, so you would think that program may take a step back. We'll have to see. Arizona at home, tough game. And then league game number 4 is against a Cincinnati team that finished 10th, even though they're on the rise. And then road game October 24th at TCU, a team that finished 9th. So 4 out of the first 5 conference games, your opponents finished in 7th place or below.
Yeah, good points. And, I try to look at this starting with from a fan perspective. 5 of your first 7 games are at home through mid-October, which is, the weather-wise, best opportunity. Now, one of those road games is a neutral site game in Charlotte against Virginia. So you only really play one true road game in your first 7. Now, you play 3 of your last 5 on the road. But, again, by that point, weather may turn on you a little bit. And the other thing I always try to decipher is who has inequitable open dates. Okay, there's only one open date this fall. It just depends on how many Saturdays there are on the calendar in that stretch. There's only one this fall, so West Virginia will have one open date, as you said it, October 31st. But, okay, who's got an open date ahead of West Virginia? Who does West Virginia have an open date? There's really only there's one that goes each way, so it's actually pretty even. When West Virginia plays Cincinnati, the Bearcats do not have a game scheduled ahead of the Mountaineers. So they got extra prep time in that regard. But then when West Virginia has their open date on the 31st, Texas Tech, which comes in the next week. They're playing against Arizona. So, so you get the balance there. Right? Sometimes there've been several teams that have seemingly more prep time than West Virginia. And West Virginia doesn't have much at all. Well, there's one each way this coming year. It is interesting a little bit. I did even, Virginia, they'll have Norfolk State the week before the Mountaineers go down there. As you said, UT Martin's the week before Virginia. They actually will play 2 games. They got a week 0 game against Central Arkansas, and then they play a brand new FCS opponent that's never played college football before in Chicago State, right ahead of the Mountaineers. And, of course, the opener against Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers don't have anybody ahead. That's their opener as well. So, for the most part, to me, I think it's favorable.
Again, the October schedule looks very favorable.
Yeah.
Now, the November schedule is brutal.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you play at Texas Tech November 7th. You do have the home game against Kansas, a Kansas team that finished 12th in the league last year. Then you finish up with Houston at home and a trip to Utah. And that's another thing is, West Virginia, you've got the 7 home games this year, including 5 in the league. You're not at home Thanksgiving week when the students aren't here.
Yeah.
So that's, both economically and atmosphere-wise, it's good to have that Thanksgiving week game on the road, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you. You might as well at that juncture because, again, with students out of town and everything else that goes with that. But, 7 home games, it's not completely unheard of by West Virginia standards, but it's also not common. So take advantage of that. And then with the neutral site game as well, West Virginia only has 4 true road games, all within conference play. So I'd have to do some digging and research to find the last time West Virginia only played 4 true road games.
Thoughts on the schedule? 304 Talk 304. Texter asks, after all the transfers and the newcomers that are coming in, what positions do you think still may be a problem?
You look at it, I think they filled a lot of needs, and we'll have to see as spring ball goes along. Just at first blush, you'd say maybe linebacker, defensive line are areas they addressed in the portal, but maybe sort of thought maybe they'd address it even a little more, and maybe they still will. But if it stands as currently constituted, those would be two that I look at. But again, got to wait and see what actually it looks like once you get into spring ball and then obviously further into the season. So I'm not going to write those off completely. I think they help themselves in a lot of areas, but those would probably be the first two off the top of my head.
304 Talk 304. Texter says, you know you're getting old when you look at the football schedule and you're more interested to see that a new team is coming to Mountaineer Field in mid-October. Arizona coming October 10th. Best time of the year in the state of West Virginia. I agree with that. I love October, too. It's my favorite month. And I threw that in. And an opportunity to showcase to the Arizona fans what we have and to meet new people. Don't care about the wins and losses anymore. Well, you know, go to the game and enjoy it. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy the atmosphere. Enjoy the fans coming from the other team. So at least that fan is looking forward to the Arizona game on Saturday, October 10th. And, you know, Cincinnati's the next week. So people ask us all the time who West Virginia's biggest Big 12 rivalry is. Well, hopefully they can get something going with Cincinnati.
Yeah. I mean, Bearcats, the closest in West Virginia is playing them often. You don't play anybody annually, at least yet, and I think that'll be up for conversation once they get through this 4-year scheduling deal that started last year. But I do think the Bearcats and Mountaineers are probably near the top of each other's rival within this league just because of proximity.
Texter points out that Arizona State plays Hawaii on October 10th. Arizona State plays Hawaii on October 10th. That's a late non-conference game. Whoever plays in the championship game, it'll be a short week. Oh, it's the Big 12 championship game. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. 304 Talk 304. An observation about the college football championship game. Glad Indiana won a competitive game. Too many commercial breaks. Hard to stay engaged. Reminded me of the Super Bowls I used to watch. ESPN and money have ruined the sport for me. It was a long broadcast.
It was, and there are a ton of commercials. You can't say anything otherwise, but you know what? They pay college athletics a lot of money, so they're going to get it back somehow.
304 Talk 304. Last time, Texter points out, West Virginia played UVA in Charlotte. Yeah, the UVA band did the Beverly Hillbillies things. Man, Mountaineer fans they have long memories.
I remember that one too.
Yeah. But you're right. It was the Virginia band that did the Beverly Hillbillies skit after they stated that the UVA band would never be able to perform there again. Will West Virginia make Charlotte abide by that ban? I doubt it. I mean, I'm stepping out on a ledge. I don't know, but that's been, 20 years?
More. Yeah, maybe closer to 30 since that one. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, I do like, and again, I don't think it's something you'd want every year, and especially a year like this when you already have 7 home games. I think that neutral site game is nice. I mean, West Virginia's done a bunch of them. Certainly Charlotte is incredibly attractive, but they've also done FedEx Field outside of D.C. They did Baltimore once. They've done Atlanta. Especially Charlotte seems to be the most attractive to Mountaineer fans.
Texter points out last time there was 4 road games was 2016.
Okay, more recent than I thought.
304 Talk 304. Again, we encourage you to stay tuned for High School Sportsline. We'll get in our final break here and check the texts. So again, a Kwesi Opoku, a Champong of Spring Mills will join us. Rihanna Breckenridge of George Washington, junior standout guard, will join us. We'll hear from some coaches. The Washington boys team off to a great start under head coach Ryan Miller. He'll join us. Wayne's girls coach Wade Williamson. In the second hour, Paul Burnside, the Doddridge County boys coach, and Hunter Moles, the Charleston Catholic boys coach. That's the lineup for High School Sportsline tonight. Stay with us. More texts coming up after this on the CityNet Statewide Sportsline.
We are there for you to care for you at the health plan.
The health plan is still growing, giving you a large network of doctors, friendly and helpful customer service representatives, and competitive, flexible pricing plans that meet your needs. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Mountain State Assessment of Trends in Community Health, or MATCH, is a survey sent to 88,000 West Virginian home addresses where the information you provide can support policymakers to direct resources to help your community. If selected, you will receive the survey information and invitation in the mail. You can complete the survey online, by mail, or by phone, and you will be compensated for your time. Visit wvmatchsurvey.org for more information. Helping your community is a touchdown for West Virginia.
I'm President Mike Davis of Fairmont State University. January 23rd is the annual Fairmont State University Day at the Capitol. We'll talk with lawmakers about Fairmont State's contribution to workforce development. We create academic programs that meet the state's workforce needs. We educate career-ready graduates, and nearly 80% of our students are native West Virginians. Many of these students remain in state upon graduation, strengthening their communities. That's just one more way Fairmont State makes North Central West Virginia and the entire state a great place to call home.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
On the next State of Minds.
People appreciate cool tattoos and they appreciate good tattoos. It's a way to make yourself different.
What do you think would fit me?
I think a ninja. A ninja with 2 swords.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Trojan Landing Marine is now Charleston's newest power sports dealership.
We now feature a full line of sleek Suzuki street bikes and four-wheelers. We're now offering the innovative riding experience of Benda motorcycles. The next step in motorcycle evolution with all-electric Zero high-performance bikes. We've now got Segway vehicles starting as low as $10,000. Come in and check out our great selection of high-quality Benelli and Royal Enfield bikes. Visit Trojan Landing in Charleston, now your water, road, and dirt dealership.
It's high school basketball season, and Metro News Television has you covered. Rivalries, buzzer beaters, classic hardwood competition. Watch live and on demand from gyms across the Mountain State. Stream Metro News Television on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select smart TVs. Or visit MetroNewsTV.com for more information. High school basketball lives here on Metro News Television.
CityNet statewide sports line on this Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. Text line open 304 Talk 304. Send us down memory lane here, Coach. This 2002, it was the Continental Tire Bowl when West Virginia played Virginia in Charlotte, and the Mountaineers came into the game 9-2, and Virginia in the ACC under head coach Al Groh, they were 7-5. But Virginia won big, had a huge second quarter. Mountaineers had a first quarter lead, and Virginia outscored West Virginia 21-0 in the second quarter and outscored them 20-12 in the second half and won the game. Virginia won the game 48-22. And West Virginia, led by Rasheed Marshall and Avon Coburn. Virginia had some really nice players on that team. Wally Lundy was the MVP. 127 yards rushing, 5 catches, 76 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. Matt Schaub was the quarterback on that team. And Heath Miller was in that game for Virginia as well.
Yeah, they had guys. I remember I was at that game, and boy, Virginia was very good for a team that had lost, a couple of games earlier in the year. I mean, as you said, they had 5 losses on that team, and but they got it going. They had talent, and once they finally cranked it up in that bowl game, but they lost to the likes of Penn State, Florida State, lost a late season game to Virginia Tech, start off with a loss to Colorado State. But yeah, first time West Virginia has played them will be the first time. That was Rich's second year as West Virginia's head coach.
First bowl game.
Yep. Now again in his second year as head coach, he will take on the Cavaliers again, and who are coming off a very nice season, though they've got rebuilding to do down there in Charlottesville.
So the first time around, Mountaineers had a dreadful year in year 1, lost to Temple.
Yep.
And then bounced back and won 9 games in year 2. So hopefully we'll see that type of turnaround again.
Could be, one of the big determining factors, as you said, there's opportunities in this schedule for West Virginia through the first 6-7 games. And that Virginia game's probably about as tough as any that they'll face, at least as we see it right now. So if you can come out of Charlotte with a victory, that'd be huge.
Text to get to in the final minute. Texter points out that game. Great attendance for that game in Charlotte. You're right. What was it, 74,000?
Yeah, just under 74,000.
So 74,000. The same texter adds that this weather stinks. And I agree with you, but it's only going to get worse as the week moves on. 304 Talk 304 texter says, after the debacle in Charlotte with the UVA spoof band, a wealthy UVA alum donated money to replace the spoof band with a legitimate marching band, probably due to the embarrassment the stunt brought to UVA. Well, that was somewhat of a national story. It was a huge deal here. It blew up here, as you can imagine.
And it's actually the second time they did that. West Virginia played a game in Charlottesville about probably 20 years earlier, and their band,
they did it then too.
They did something then too. So West Virginia should have been ready.
This has stuck a chord with the Mountaineer fans. It struck a nerve. Texter says Charlotte, a great spot for the Mountaineers to play. Will be interesting to see how the UVA band follows up the stunt they pulled during the Tire Bowl. And if the Mountaineers never play in that dump in Landover again, it'll be too soon. What a horrible experience. Well, the Commanders are getting a new stadium.
Yeah, looks like there'll be opportunities. I certainly like the trip from a West Virginia perspective. If you're going to make a neutral site game, that's a pretty good one. But they're getting like I said, hopefully by the time West Virginia, because I don't know of them scheduled for a neutral site game over there until probably when their new stadium is finished.
Right. Texter says, in relation to the schedule, too bad we're not playing Pitt. When will that series resume? Well, was it a 2 or 3 year hiatus?
3 year hiatus. Yeah, so you got 3 years off before the next one.
Okay, so it's coming up. Series is coming back.
Yep.
Let's see. Don in Virginia says, if memory serves me correctly, he was there at the game. That performance led to the last performance of that band. The next year, UVA fielded a traditional college band officially representing the university. Another texter says, I was at the Tire Bowl. I was about 16. We sat so high up I could see downtown Charlotte. Well, hopefully, if you're older now, you got a job, you can get better tickets.
Yeah. Downtown Charlotte's right there, so you can see it real easily from most spots. I like that stadium.
It is a very nice stadium. High School Sportsline coming up in just a few minutes. Join myself and Joe Bricado. That's on its way at 7:06. Greg and I will be back tomorrow with the Sportsline.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.